the actual transformations of consciousness are revealing themselves socially now in real time. They're becoming manifest. And they're manifesting now in a number of categories of change. And this is to be observed in life. It's not a theory I'm saying. So if you don't recognize it, don't worry about it. But the first group, I'll call them the living dead, yeah? It's a collapsing consciousness. It's a enervated consciousness. It's losing mental energy and therefore clarity. It's losing the clarity of mind and awareness. It's losing emotional strength and energy. It's becoming dead, lifeless. The animal energies, they're not being understood and looked after. And they are heavily social conditioned by the ideologies and lies of this society. And therefore, they become prey to all the vampires in society. And that leads me to the second group, which is the vampiric psyche. Those who want something off you, those who demand, those who manipulate, those who extract. The YouTube vampires, the spiritual grifters, those who say they know and want a soapbox to tell you everything they know. Now, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just being honest. There's a difference. Human honesty is a human being honest, but human trying to get something out of you and selling what they think they have, which is knowledge, is not the thing. And then they're the two unconscious, they're the two categories that are unconscious of their evolution, that they're evolving spiritually and in terms of consciousness. The first one is degenerating, but it's the same kind of thing. And then there is the majority of so-called spiritual people. They read books, they accumulate knowledge, they follow teachers, they get excited by YouTubes. They often set up a grift. They want to sell you something. They want it to be a healer. They want to be a channeler. Now, look, a lot of these people are good people, but they're all very deluded and they don't know. It's all spiritual ego, my friends. You got to be a light unto yourself, free of all teachers, free of all authorities, free of all books. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand that when you try and help others in this way, you keep them immature, you prevent their evolution any further. But if they came to you, then they're not that far anyway. And if you believe your work is helpful, then I'm afraid you're going to have to learn that lesson, that you're actually harming people because of your innocence, ignorance, or arrogance. And you can decide which it is. But I'm not going to spend too much on that group. But they will probably experience what psychiatry is always called psychotic experiences, or what shamans call a shamanic initiation. And depending on how they meet those experiences will depend to an extent how they end up. They're not saved just because they believe in God or spiritual or believe in Jesus. Jesus never even said that. He said, believe in me and you will be saved. But he didn't mean believe I exist, obviously, because he was there live in the flesh when he said it. Vicars and priests have turned it in, but you've got to believe he actually exists, otherwise you go to hell. That's made up. He said, believe in me when he was alive. So he meant believe in my words, believe in love. So those demonic, right-wing, racist, American evangelical Christians who worship the flag, Donald Trump, guns, and they say, I love God, or Jesus is the light, the truth, and the way, are demonically deluded people. They're victims, yeah, but they're turned in oftentimes to evil people. Anyway, let's move on to the next group. The next group is those who have got an inner guidance or some kind of inner light, but it's not their own. They're guided by other dimensions. They're asking for answers. They're maybe praying, maybe practicing, going to nature. These are often very sweet, good people, but they do have a degree of impotence because they're not yet a light unto themselves, which leads me on to the final group, those who are true lights unto themselves. That means you're observing the movements of life, mind, consciousness all of the time. You're watching them. You may struggle with them. You may get overcome by them. You may have problems with them, but you're observing them. You're not seeking guidance from outside or inside. Inner guidance, if it comes, becomes a nuisance, a distraction. You have to observe, understand it, and brush it away. And then you're not relying on books, teachers, or inner guidance, or your own historical conclusions. And that is the only stance that washes away all of your social conditioning, including the social conditioning of thinking you need guidance, because it's no longer true. Now, I'm just going to put it, I don't want to go into it any more than that. I just want to put that there, because if you see and understand it, you'll instantly recognize what I'm saying and you'll instantly see the implications. But if you don't, it doesn't matter. Um, the collapse of society is the one side we can see clearly, but we don't see that our intellect and our social conditioning depends for its nourishment and its stability on that system. So as the system collapses, the social conditioning becomes more dysfunctional and more generative of negative energies, and which can invite negative attacks. Okay. People will start talking about this, but there will be other people around who understand it. And unfortunately, then some of these people might actually need saving, might actually need help as the only way of getting out of it. But that would be done in freedom, human to human, not through a grift, not through selling something, not through providing a service. If they go to such people, those people will cannibalize their energy, their life, as far as they can, unconsciously. And okay, I'm going to say this. Don't believe a word I say. If you don't see into the spiritual dimensions, if you haven't got a grasp of it, it's very dangerous to believe this stuff. What I'd ask you to do is just hear it and leave it. And then it will act. Your awareness will act. Don't believe, because again, that's illusion. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. I know some people are hating what I'm saying here. I'm sorry.